Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm your presenter, Jarna Hector. Thanks for joining us. Topping the headlines, newly appointed chairman of Aid Bank speaks of his plans for the bank, Dominica's primary healthcare services highlighted, and the Caribbean Development Bank approves funding for water project in Grand Forks. All these stories and more when National Focus returns.
Hello, I am Bishop Gabriel Malzer, Bishop of Roseau, and I am Dominica. Are you?
Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. Work on the 500,000-gallon storage tank in Monbruce is nearing completion. General Manager of the Dominica Water and Sewage Company, Bernard Etinoff, confirmed this on Monday during an interview with GIS News.
What is happening now is basically the sealing of the inside of the tank, and then some work on the outside has to be done. It will take a few days to complete this Monbruce storage tank. It's a 500,000 imperial gallon tank, which will serve the city of Roseau, the cruise ships, the lower parts of Kings Hill. It's divided into 3 chambers, one of which can be dedicated to the Windsor Park Sports Stadium, one can be dedicated to the cruise ships, so that when we are feeding cruise ships or when there is an activity in the stadium utilizing large volumes of water, the people in Kings Hill, Lower Kings Hill, Lower Monbruce, Roseau will not suffer from water shortages. In the past, what you found is that if we could not serve ships sometimes, because if we did that, then persons would go without water. So this is much needed storage. We can expect much improvement in the water supply to Roseau and environs, Kings Hill, Lower Monbruce, the stadium, with the storage that the capacity to serve for probably 2 days or so in the event that there is something happening at the intake.
The DOWASCO official accompanied Minister for Water Resource Management, Honorable Reginald Austrie, on a tour of the project site on Monday to view the status of the works. Engineer at DOWASCO, Magnus Williams, explained to GIS News what the new system involves.
For each chamber, we'll require a separate outlet pipe and distribution pipes. The pipes from each of these chambers are interconnected in the event that we want to supply water from one pipe to another area. So various valves have to be installed so that we could do that particular isolation. Also, we require to put in valves on the supply lines, what we call the float valves, the blue valves that you may see. These are to control the tanks and shut off the supply when the tanks are filled. So, of course, we need pipes as well to control overflow and for emptying or washing out the tanks. So these pipes are also interconnected. They go to the concrete chamber, which you see, and this goes through a washout line. Now we had to lay 2 pipes down, one to the Bath Road and one to the Botanical Gardens. We also have that. One of them is a direct connection onto our bulk water line, so we can serve water to the cruise ships on the port through that line, and the other one is the washout pipe for emptying of water to the tank.
Employees on the project are now engaged in the application of a sealant on the inner walls of the tank.
So even if the concrete is supposed to be waterproof, but just as an extra precaution, we line all our storage tanks with this compound to make sure that it's absolutely leak tight.
The Monbruce storage tank will be fed from the treatment facility in Antrim from the main intake in Springfield. Meantime, Minister for Water Resource Management, Honorable Reginald Austrie, says the completion of the tank will mark a major milestone in government's attempts to make potable water available to all Dominicans within the next 2 to 3 years.
That's to feed the cruise ships. As you know, government has been spending quite a bit of money in terms of new and improved water systems. To date, I can tell you we've spent over $15 million on putting in new and improved systems all across the country. Campbell, Warner, Daly's, Petit Savan, and right now we in the final leg of doing Penville. We're doing the Concord area. We're doing, well, of course, we have the West Coast water supply, which is ongoing right now.
In related news, the Caribbean Development Bank has approved funding for a water project in Grand Forks. Minister for Water Resource Management, Honorable Reginald Austrie, confirmed this on Monday during an interview with GIS News.
The contractor for the Granford water system, which is a system that the people of Granford have been crying about for the longest while. And we just found out just today that the CDB has approved that the contractor for that project under the BNTF program. And so we expect very shortly that the contract will be signed and work will begin on this new facility for the people of Granford, which will bring much relief to those people. It's government stated policy, and even though we know that the financial situation is in fact tight, we know how it is with Dawasco. Dawasco is cash strapped, but the government, through the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Finance, Roosevelt Skerrit, has made the monies available, because we see water as a very, very essential commodity that nobody can live with. In fact, the old cliche goes that water is life.
Parliamentary representative for the Granford constituency, Honorable Ivor Stevenson, is looking forward to the commencement of the project.
It's for many years right now that the people of Granford have been experiencing serious shortages of water in the community of Granford. And what we have now learned is that the monies will now be made available to the people of Granford, especially to ensure that the people in the upper section of Granford who have been experiencing serious water shortages, they will now be able to live much more comfortable and enjoy the quality of water that they expect to enjoy. I also must say too that not only has the CDB been making that money available through the BNTF project to the community of Granford, but we have seen where other communities have benefited under CDB projects. For example, we see in the Bagatelle area, in the Kadwa area, where a project is about to be completed. We have Pidet Savan, which saw the commission of a water system sometime last year, and also in Shawford, and also in Marigot, Monkey Hill Marigot. All these are CDB, BNTF funded projects. So we see the CDB and the government of Dominica continue to collaborate to ensure that we can improve the quality of the lives of people, especially in these areas where they're benefiting from CDB, BNTF projects.
Newly appointed chairman of the Aid Bank, Martin Charles, says his first order of business will be to meet with members of the board of directors to review the status of the bank and to determine a way forward. Charles, who served as deputy director of the bank since March 2000, on April 19th took up his new position, succeeding Ambrose Sylvester, who served as chairman of the Aid Bank board of directors from 2006 to April 18, 2012. The new Aid Bank chairman told GIS News that the operations of the bank will be guided by the bank's 5-year strategic plan.
We have set a path for the bank for the next 5 years. We have had our shortcomings in that we've not reached all the targets that we intended to arrive at. But the board of directors is going to meet so that we could review where we're at and try to tighten up on certain areas to see how best we can accomplish the mission and vision of the bank.
Charles says during his tenure, the bank will undertake new initiatives which will continue to position the bank as a model development bank in the Caribbean.
For a matter of fact, we have some institutions, I can name one, Bank of St. Lucia. They're really looking at Aid Bank and some of the things that we are doing or have been able to do over the past years that have caused our asset base to have grown to such a significant amount that they realize that something is happening at Aid Bank. I must also single out the general manager who have done a tremendous job in getting the bank to where we really want it to get.
Martin Charles is looking forward to the bank being able to impact more on Dominica's economic development.
We want to ensure that the productive sector is really looked at more thoroughly, because the bank has a mandate whereby we are supposed to help influence the economic development of the country. And I believe that we can do much more than we are doing in terms of getting into the various communities, assisting the small businesses, be it cooperatives. We can really get them off the ground. I know the NDF is doing some of it, but on a bigger scale, we believe that there's a role in each community for Aid Bank to impact on the lives of the people of Dominica.
The board of directors comprises individuals who are selected by the shareholders of the bank. The other members of the Aid Bank board of directors who are appointed to serve for another term are Elford Henry, Hubert Joseph, Leon LeBlanc, Ruben Thomas, Colbert Pinard, and Denise Charles. At a press conference last Friday, Police Chief Cyril Carrett said that although there are concerns about the police recruitment process, the method will not be changed. Chief Carrett said that the process may have flaws, but it is still reliable and will be more so with a few adjustments.
Despite public concerns about the vetting process, I can say that the process has worked well in the past and no system is flawless. Therefore, new arrangements have been made to tighten on the system, and one such arrangement is the circulation of photographs of prospective recruits to every police station.
Chief Carrett also disclosed that the Police Act is currently under review with the aim of improving the level of service offered by the Dominica Police Force. In other news, residents of Cottage and the surrounding communities took advantage of the opportunity to communicate with authorities at a crime and violence panel discussion on Monday evening. The panelists were Parliamentary Representative for the Cottage constituency, Honorable Reginald Austrie, Minister for National Security, Honorable Charles Savre, Police Chief Cyril Carrett, the Chairman of the local Village Council, and Attorney General, Honorable Levi Peter. This panel discussion was the fifth in a series of talks organized by a government cabinet subcommittee. Chairman of the discussions, Attorney General Honorable Peter, outlined the objective of the panel discussions.
Tonight is an opportunity for you to exchange your views with us. Feel free, you may disagree with us, you may criticize us. That's part and parcel of what we're here for. We're not here simply for you to rub our backs and give us platitudes. What we really want is to hear what it is you have to say in relation to the issue that we are primarily here for, which, as you know, is the issue of crime, violence, and antisocial behavior in our society. I suspect, because you have come here, that you have a concern about those things, and feel free to express your views whether we are happy with what you say or not. We'll try to have a very cordial discussion. Where we disagree, we can exchange views, and hopefully from that exchange of views, we will be able to go forward so that we can formulate ideas and policies that are going to improve the lives of all of us in Dominica, not just in this community, but in the wider community of Dominica.
Parliamentary Representative for the area, Honorable Reginald Austrie, used his opening remarks to explain the purpose of holding the meeting in that community.
Somebody asked me, well, why are you coming to Cottage? We haven't got crime in Cottage. Go Granby or go somewhere, go Calibishi, and deal with all the problem. And I said two things. I said, one, a criminal is not a tree to say you plant it there and it remains there until it dies. A criminal moves around. They plan their thing and they execute their thing. And sometimes we see strangers, we see people passing for our community, and we don't know how deadly some of these people can be. And I believe that while we've not been hit, but we have to protect ourselves and ensure that we don't get hit.
According to Police Chief Carrett, no community can claim to be crime-free and have no use for the community talks. Chief Carrett insisted that crime takes many forms. He made those comments while addressing the residents of Cottage and environs at the ongoing community discussions on crime and violence.
Some people try to put a spin on things and tell you that is crime and that is not crime. But the way things are happening these days, you have people destroying people. You have people smuggling in the area. You have people doing drugs in the area. That's crime. You have people feathering their animals and people stealing them. That's crime. You know, and people partake of the meat. You know, so all those things are crimes. And we should not take comfort by saying, well, we do not have. Because as the world is today, the world is getting smaller, it's shrinking. It remains the same size, but things that are happening anywhere else in the world can happen right here in Cottage.
At the open mic forum, residents expressed concerns about the closure of the Capuchin police station, the degree of punishment meted out to criminals, and juvenile offender penalties, among other queries. The Ministry of Health continues to promote the well-being of all citizens through the provision of preventive, curative, and rehabilitative healthcare services. Through the island's primary healthcare service, nursing professionals from across the country have been committed to providing quality healthcare through a network of 52 health centers and 2 district hospitals. Senior community health nurse attached to the primary healthcare department, Luce, told a panel discussion organized by the Nurses Association on Monday that primary healthcare services in Dominica are all-encompassing. She says services range from medical care, home visits, family planning and maternity services to child health, including immunization.
We begin immunizations at 2 months. So the child will be immunized against 5 diseases at one time. That is the pentavalent vaccine. The first dose will be given at 2 months, followed by poliomyelitis and BCG vaccine. So the schedule continues, and we continue with the second pentavalent vaccine at 4 months, the third at 6 months, and then the child receives MMR vaccine at 1 year. So at the end of 1 year, the child should have been covered with those vaccines. The next vaccine is given at 18 months, which is the DPT booster vaccine and the polio vaccine as well. Then at 3 years, the child is given another booster of DPT as well as a booster of MMR vaccine. So we give vaccines to the children. We also provide vaccines to adults who require it, especially those going to university or those going to the embassy and they require their green card. We provide vaccines for them as well.
Nurse Luce says that the services offered also include general morbidity clinics.
We also do how we call general morbidity clinics, where we take care of the clients with chronic diseases, particularly the CNCDs like diabetes and high blood pressure. We also do cancer screening at the health centers, where the emphasis is on prevention. So we will do a lot of education, health promotion activities, also pap smears. That's where we screen for cervical cancer. We also screen for breast cancer, and we also screen the men for prostate cancer. So we do digital rectal examinations.
The senior community health nurse disclosed further that health promotional activities at schools around the country are also part of the health services provided by the country's primary healthcare system.
There's also a service that we provide for the schools, where we have the family nurse practitioner, who we call the school nurse, who goes to the school and examine the entrance, that is the children who are 5 years old, as well as the school leavers, that is those in grade 6. And we provide vaccines for them if they require it then. We do a lot of health education or health promotion activities. We emphasize disaster preparedness, especially around now when we are preparing for the hurricane season. We do home and household visits. We do shut-in visits. So we do quite a number of activities to try to reach the clients where they are at their homes in the communities.
Other presentations came from Acting Matron Jasmine Lambert and Acting Principal Nursing Officer Letitia Lestrade-Week. GIS National Focus will bring you excerpts from these presentations in Wednesday's newscast. In more nursing news, retired nurse Araminta Thomas has called on nurses to uphold the nursing profession with the highest standards and ethics. Nurse Thomas, who worked throughout the country during her active years of service, encouraged the nurses to embrace their work with pride and professional excellence. The proud retiree made such appeals when she addressed the panel discussion organized by the Dominica Nurses Association on Monday evening.
Let us not forget, nurses are teachers of health. We have to cooperate. Nurses have to respect their seniors. Nurses have to respect their juniors. Nurses have to each one teach one. Nurses have to uplift each other. We are called by God to serve. The work we are doing, it's not our work, it is God's work. He's looking at us. We have an account to give for the work we are doing to each other.
The retired nurse said, in nursing there should be a humane feeling for the human being. She cautioned that nurses should treat others the way they would like to be treated. She also reminded today's nurses that they are called to serve with compassion and love.
And I'm praying and I'm hoping that the attitude of some nurses will change. I cannot forget these words from Dr. Hugh Sherlock in Jamaica when he said to us, When things go wrong, do not curse the darkness, but only light a candle. Turn it the other way around and look at it and make it a blessing. And I pray that as we go year after year into nursing, I'm hearing all about it. The people tells me, the patient tells me, the attitude of some of the nurses, nursing standards, nursing ethics. And let us all remember, in all our travels in life, these 3 letters, manners maketh man.
Retired nurse Araminta Thomas was one of several speakers who talked about experiences in the profession during Monday's panel discussion. And that's the English segment of the news. We now join McPherson St. Luce for the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moins c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, projet pour bâtir tank de l'eau en Monbrose qui marche bien. Projet là qui est expecté pour un au meilleur service de l'eau pour ville Roseau et puis environ quand appelé si pour financier le gouvernement Dominique et puis de Wasco. Ministère Management de l'eau, Honorable Reginald Ostring, tes chefs en délégation officier qui visite le projet la ligne. Selon Honorable Ostring, gouvernement Dominique a travaillé 100% tout Dominicain tapé bon de l'eau potable pour servir.
Projet ça là c'est un projet qui a essayé faire de l'eau pour ville Roseau avec ces communes là, Roseau, tu vois plus ça quoi reliable. Comme ça Roseau c'est plus gros capital city non. Et nous avons tout l'hôpital, nous avons l'hôtel. Et les check fois nous avons un problème avec ça un shortage of water. Comme ça nous avons nous construit un tank ça là, il y a 500 000 gallons d'eau. Et ça qui fait certains qui n'ont pas jamais de problème avec l'eau encore. Il faut toujours aider nous avec cruise ship parce que vous savez, c'est cruise ship là qui a pour l'eau. Les check fois pour fermer l'eau pour ces cruise ship là taper. Comme ça, les check fois la journée, vous pas qu'à l'eau. Comme ça, avec le système là, ça nous fait certains qui nous pas pour fermer le système l'eau pour cruise ship là taper l'eau. Et nous aussi le stadium là autant de l'eau. Et nous avons fait un line qui est dedicated. Comme ça, l'eau là ça sorti directly hot AC pour aller en système là. Comme ça, qu'on voit c'est un système qui est très important. Mais plus sérieux que ça, c'est policy gouvernement pour faire certain que tout Dominicain ait accès pour bon l'eau pour yo boire. Nous déjà bossons 95% de monde ait accès pour l'eau. Et nous avons dit 3 ans, nous voulons 100 monde, tout single Dominicain ait accès pour bon l'eau. Et ça qui fait pour 2 années qui passent, nous avons fait un lot investment en l'eau. Nous avons déjà investi peut-être $15 million. $15 million en ça que priority project. Et ça c'est Moana, Campbell, Tissavan, Delis, Penville et après ça nous avons regardé contre Benz et nous avons regardé vehicles qui sont plus tard. Et comme M. Stevens dit, nous avons un investment en Antrim. La main glow qui a sorti en main intake Antrim parce que c'est glow la hot Antrim qui est plein tant que ça là et nous pour faire improvement nous avons dépenser parce que $3 millions qu'a improve Antrim et nous still d'autres travail pour nous faire là.
D'autres nouvelles et Banque Dominique ni entièrement neuf. Sinon on communiqué qui sorti ni c'est Martin Charles proposition neuf là qu'a placé ancien secrétaire financier Ambrose Sylvester. Charles travaille comme directeur banque là depuis l'année 2000 et puis aussi déjà travaille comme directeur banque là. Quand même sinon parole monsieur Charles il a complimenté le gouvernement Dominique Board et puis travailler banque là pour dédication à eux et puis bagaille accompli pendant l'année financière. Et aussi qu'a fait commitment travail et puis Board neuf là taper succès pour opération banque là. Un officier qui était une fois directeur Simpson Grégoire qui a pris position comme député chairman. D'autres membres Board là c'est Elford Henry, Hubert Joseph, Léon Leblanc, Ruben Thomas, Colbert Pinard et puis Dennis Charles. Board neuf là qui travaille juste l'autre gouan en meeting banque là. Gouvernement Dominique ni majorité chance en banque là pendant sécurité sociale Dominique qui venu deuxième. D'autres nouvelles, gouvernement Dominique a fait parole que Banque Développement Kawaïb fait provision pour bâtir projet système de l'eau en Guanfond. BNTF a mis en place pour en charge du projet cela. Quand même si l'homme en parlement pour Guanfond, Honorable Ivor Stevenson, projet cela bien nécessaire pour mon Guanfond.
Mon Guanfond, pour un long temps actuellement, you can experience a problem, especially les gens qui ont été en haut. So, quand on est en Dominique, autant système là, il n'y a pas qu'à sauver un plat tout seul, il y a qu'à sauver descendant. So, presque tout le temps, c'est les gens qui sont plus bas, qui ont tapé anti-glow. So, autant les gens qui ont été en haut, en grand fond, ils ont expérience autant de problèmes et puis glow en grand fond. So, nous tapons nouvelle, ou la BNTF, qui a commencé un projet. Il a commencé longtemps actuellement, mais il y a des petits problèmes. Ce problème ça actuellement, il solve et puis nous allons de manière là que nous allons commencer l'eau grand fond pour voir que tout le monde grand fond taper bon l'eau et puis l'eau en pipe à tout temps.
Et puis finalement, Dominique, tout un pays qui a tapé un encouragement pour participer à l'activité No Plastic Bag Shopping Day. Ça c'est pour gagner shopping ailleurs sans service plastique. Activité celle-là qui est organisée samedi qui vient, qui est organisée par Discover Dominica Authority. Objectif initiative celle-là c'est pour faire public là comprendre danger plastique et puis manière il peut affecter l'environnement. Il faut encourager le public là pour mettre shopping à yo en panier, là yo aller la place samedi. Rotary Club Dominique qui collabore et puis Discover Dominica Authority pour initiative là. Activité celle-là qui est formée par Tourism Awareness Month. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non moins, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Voilà.
When we come back, we'll bring you the upcoming events and government notices. Please stay tuned. The Ministry of Information, Telecommunications and Constituency Empowerment invites applications from suitably qualified candidates to fill the position of Information Officer at the Government Information Service. The core functions of the position include collecting information from various government departments to keep the public informed of important current events, preparing radio television programs in both English and local dialect, assisting with the removal of still photograph, video camera operation, and editing of television programs. Qualifications required: a bachelor's degree, diploma, or certificate in mass communication or in any other related field from an accredited university, a minimum of 1 year experience, experience in carrying out research, and excellent oral and written communication and interpersonal skills, ability to correctly interpret and reproduce ideas expressed in conversation and written form, and the ability to speak the Creole language. Applications including only certified copies of professional certificates, detailed curriculum vitae, and 2 letters of reference should be submitted to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information, Telecommunications and Constituency Empowerment, Government Headquarters, Roseau, Commonwealth of Dominica, in sealed envelopes marked confidential to reach no later than Thursday, May 31, 2012. Additional information can be obtained from the Ministry at email address information@dominica.gov.dm or pssechousing@dominica.gov.dm or telephone number 767-266-3294 or 266-3507. Interested public officers should apply through the heads of departments. Please note, only shortlisted candidates will be acknowledged. Effective May 5, 2012, the Portsmouth Plant Quarantine Office was relocated to the former Wibdeco Weighbridge at Longhouse. Please be guided accordingly. Applications are invited from suitably qualified persons for contractual appointment in the post of Solicitor General in the Ministry of Tourism and Legal Affairs. Duties include giving legal advice and preparing legal documents, representing government in legal proceedings, and training junior lawyers. Qualifications include a master's degree in law or legal education from a recognized university and certificate in legal education, and at least 2 years' experience in the legal field. The successful candidate will be contracted for a period of 2 years in the first instance. Applications including certified copies of professional certificates, detailed curriculum vitae, and 2 letters of reference should be submitted on the confidential cover to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism and Legal Affairs, Government Headquarters, Kennedy Avenue, Roseau. Applications should reach the Permanent Secretary on or before May 31st, 2012. Up next is the tip of the day. The cost to recycle plastic bags is more than the value. This leads to more plastic bags in the landfill and in the environment. Let's reduce and reuse plastics. And that's National Focus. As usual, we invite your suggestions or comments. Please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm, or you can visit our website at news.gov.dm, or you could visit our GIS Dominica page on YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Jarna Hector. Thanks for watching.